Good morning and welcome. Here we are Wednesday morning at Stanford Lake. Yesterday was a glorious day. Today was supposed to be the same, but as you can see, it's far from it. It's been drizzling, it's foggy, it's not very warm, but I've come up here to try for a perch. I've already potted in 250 grams of castor and dendrobina. That's the sort of depth I've got, which is about 4.5 foot. Bulk shotted down the line to a size 16 hook with the head of a dendrobina on it, and I'll also put a little maggot on there just to keep it from coming off. The last few competitions up here, they've been getting a few decent perch, up to £1. As you saw in some of my videos last year, the perch we were catching up here were quite small, so they've either come on very well, or there were some larger perch in, as I suspected, and now they're just showing. So that over the chopped worm should be deadly. And where I'm fishing 11 metres, basically to get into a corner where there's some tree roots. I'll show you in a second once I'm out there. Steve the bailiff's up here doing a bit of work on some of the swims, but apart from him, nobody else up here bar myself. As you can see, I should hope, there's some tree roots out there. I've got plenty of float showing because these perch tend to bite quite slowly. And if you've got a little bit of float showing, you can miss the bite because they haven't really had a chance to get the whole worm into their mouths. I'm only on a 16 hook, I haven't gone silly big. If I get a couple of reasonable perch, probably 12 ounces a pound, I might go up to a size 12 hook and put a whole dendrobina on. If you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully the weather can only get better from here on in. We're on the last knockings of February, and hopefully we'll start seeing some better fishing. But today there was a competition out at Whitstable that I could have gone in, but I didn't fancy it. I don't know why, because I like the lake. I had a third there last time, but I just had a feeling that the weather forecast wasn't going to be what they said. And when I woke up this morning and looked out the window, it was thick fog, so I'm pleased I avoided that drive. But I decided last week when we had a look, I don't know if you saw the video of this place at Hythe Canal after the water levels had risen so much, lift and drop the float, move the bait a bit. I decided to come up here and have a go for the perch. Probably not the best conditions for a sight sort of feeding fish really, because it is quite chocolate coloured, but even so, with the scent of the chopped worm and the castor, we should get their attention, and certainly other silver fish as well. I'm not expecting just perch by a long way. There's probably going to be roach, a small bream, always potentially a carp. Steve the bailiff was saying that he had a night up here with a friend last week and they had 5, best one £23, which is a nice fish, common carp. The others were between sort of 15 and £10. But it just goes to show that the weather's so mild, the bigger fish are moving about. I'm fishing absolutely dead depth. Might come up a little bit if anything, certainly won't go deeper. What I'll do is I'll start loose feeding a few pinkies over there shortly, just to get the attention of anything over there, smaller fish, etc. Obviously everywhere here is still very muddy, so I've had to choose peg 1, which is not a great hike from the car because the banks are so slippery at the moment. You have to be careful. But it's a lovely venue in the summer. You can take your car right round it. Members only, but Cinque Ports Angling Club, so night fishing allowed, keep nets allowed. The club does have a few club matches on it, but it's generally a pleasure fishing lake. Carp anglers predominate really, but as I say, there's plenty of swims, so there's room for everybody. Oh, that's a little bite then. Oh, should have had you. That was a perch. Got a bit of a tree above me. I have to be a little bit careful on the strike. Just as I lifted that, he got hold of it and sawed away with it. That's a good sign. That's the first bite of the day. So with this method, it's best to keep the bait moving, keep the float every 30 seconds, minute, whatever. Just lift it, the whole float out the water, and drop it back in again. And the bite, if you get one, usually comes quite quickly after that, because the fish in the area have seen the bait move and come to inspect it and grab it. If it's sat there a little while, then chances are it could probably be a silverfish. There's another little bite there. Just taking the float down about a quarter of the way. Give that a little lift just in case he's still in the area. With the chop worm and caster, you have to sort of judge when to put some more in. I put in quite a lot. I put in half of a 250ml pot, so there's plenty of bait out there. So I won't be putting anything in substantial like that any time for a little while. But as I say, a few pinkies over the top might just get the attention of a few fish. But we'll fish this out for an hour first, see what happens. I've been asked to run a competition up at Evegate on Sunday. I just hope, the weather forecast from now until Sunday is just more and more rain. It's relentless, it really is. But if it is fishable, we'll have a little go on Sunday. So the weather's been so mild, there'll be plenty of fish about. It's just the fact that everywhere is so wet. The Hythe Canal, if you looked at that little video I done of the town stretch, the day after that, because it rained all night Sunday night, that was Sunday daytime I took the video, it rained all night Sunday night, the wind got up to gale force, and it was an awful, horrible night, and it burst its banks right through. There's one stretch called the Duke's Head stretch, which in all my years of looking at the canal and fishing the canal, I've never seen it breach there, and it did. So it just goes to show we've had exceptional amounts of weather, more than I've known in my lifetime. It just seems to have not stopped raining since Christmas. There's a little drop off. I'll bring this back to in line with that tree. It just drops off there another 4 or 5 inches. It's the sort of place a perch would patrol. I've got another rig exactly the same made up with a slightly smaller hook, an 18 hook, that I can try double maggot on, or double pinky. Because sometimes, even though the perch are quite voracious predators, sometimes they only want a little bait. They're quite strange little fish, really. One day they'll be taking live baits, and you think to yourself, crikey, a pound perch is just taking a 3-ounce roach or whatever, and then another day you want single or double pinky and you're catching the same quality of fish. So it's all a bit of an experiment, really. But it's probably a good sign for me that I'm not getting a lot of silverfish activity, because up here there are an awful lot of roach and rudd, as you know, little silver bream as well, and you probably wouldn't be getting the perch chance to find and take the bait. But at the moment there's no worries on that front, because there's nothing out there really having a go at the bait. I'm quite surprised how quiet it is. But it's just nice to be out. Back to work tomorrow, sadly, for a couple of days. But the weather's going to be horrible tomorrow and Friday, so I won't be missing anything. As I say, it's just not letting up. These fronts are coming in on these Atlantic winds. But remarkably, at night we're getting some hard frosts. A couple of days last week, the stars come out, the moon come out, and it absolutely froze solid. Well, I can't